Hello my fishing friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm your resident fishing expert, here to give you the lowdown on what to expect out on the waters of beautiful New Zealand on the 22nd of September 2025. Now why is this day so special? Because we're firmly into spring, and that means our finned friends are shaking off the last of winter's chill, getting active, and most importantly, getting hungry. Stick around because I've got some actionable tips that could make your next trip truly unforgettable. This spring transition brings a unique set of conditions that can turn a seemingly ordinary day into an epic fishing adventure, particularly for those targeting our magnificent trout and some early season saltwater action. Let's dive into our forecast, starting with some prime species and the tactics to land them. First up, we have the rainbow trout, especially in our many stunning lakes. This time of year, after the spawning period, rainbows are keen to put on condition. They're often found patrolling the lake edges, drop-offs, and around submerged structures. For those targeting them, jigging with small weighted lures or soft plastics can be incredibly effective in deeper water, especially during the middle of the day. If you prefer trolling, try running your lures at depths of 3 to 6 meters. For the patient angler, sight fishing with small nymph patterns or streamers near the shorelines, particularly in areas where streams flow into the lake, can yield some fantastic results. Remember, they're hungry, so don't be afraid to experiment with slightly larger, more aggressive presentations than you might use later in the season. Next, let's talk about the elusive brown trout. While many rivers are still partially closed or restricted, September marks the start of the sea-run brown trout season in regions like Southwestland and Fiordland. These hard-fighting fish enter river mouths and lower reaches, eager to feed after their time at sea. Focus your efforts around river mouths, especially after a good rain, using spinners, small metal lures, or streamer flies that imitate baitfish. For resident browns in open river sections, nymphing is a consistent producer, but keep an eye out for early mayfly or caddis hatches, which could bring fish to the surface for some exciting dry fly action. Look for them in areas with good cover like undercut banks and log jams where they feel secure. Moving to the saltwater scene, the Kahawai are a fantastic sport fish and become more active this time of year, particularly around river mouths and estuaries. Why? Because the whitebait runs typically kick off from September through November, and Kahawai absolutely gorge themselves on these tiny morsels. Target them with small silver lures or flies that mimic whitebait, casting into feeding frenzies or along current lines. A fast retrieve often triggers a strike. Remember, if you're fishing in a river mouth that also holds trout, you'll need a freshwater license. Finally, for our North Island friends, snapper can offer some rewarding early spring action. While peak season is generally later, snapper are moving into shallower waters as temperatures rise. Focus on rocky coastlines, mussel beds, and inshore reefs. Soft plastics fished slowly on a light jig head can be deadly, as can traditional bait fishing with pilchards or squid. Target depths of 5 to 15 meters, especially during tidal changes. Now for the all-important conditions that will shape your fishing day. Please remember, since we're looking so far ahead, this weather and water temperature information is based on typical seasonal averages for late September in New Zealand. Weather. Expect mild spring temperatures across much of New Zealand. Daytime highs could range from around 15 degrees Celsius in the south to up to 19 degrees Celsius in the north. Nights will still be cool, possibly dipping to 8 or 9 degrees Celsius, with a chance of morning frost in inland or mountainous areas. We're in a transitional period, so be prepared for a mix of sunshine and cloud, with a moderate chance of showers or light rain, especially with the prevailing westerly airflows. Wind speeds will likely be light to moderate, perhaps averaging 10 to 15 miles per hour, which can be a double-edged sword. Calm waters mean clearer visibility, but a light chop can sometimes trigger a bite. Atmospheric pressure tends to stabilize as we move deeper into spring, which is generally a good sign for fish activity, but any sudden drops could send fish deeper. Water temperature. Freshwater lakes and rivers will still be cool, averaging around 10 to 13 degrees Celsius, but with a noticeable warming trend throughout the month. This gradual increase is key as it boosts fish metabolism and encourages feeding. Coastal sea temperatures will also be on the cooler side, ranging from 10 to 16 degrees Celsius, making it a bit too cold for swimming, but still plenty warm enough to get our target species moving. The warming water pushes baitfish closer to shore, and the predators follow. Moon phase. On the 22nd of September 2025, we will be just past the new moon, entering a very young waxing crescent phase. This means the moon's illumination will be very low, around 1 to 2%. Many anglers believe the periods around the new and full moon can be quite active, and for a waxing crescent, the general wisdom suggests fish activity often picks up as the moon begins to grow. It often correlates with increased tidal movement, which can stimulate feeding in saltwater and estuarine environments. Overall fish activity. General activity will be high. Fish are recovering from spawning, water temperatures are rising, and food sources are becoming more abundant. The transition into spring means many species are becoming less lethargic and actively seeking food. Expect rainbow trout in lakes to be particularly aggressive, while sea-run brown trout and kahawai will be keyed into the whitebait runs. Snapper will be slowly waking up in their inshore haunts. My clear assessment for the fishing on the 22nd of September 2025 in New Zealand? I'd rate the overall clev or bite as good to very good, particularly for freshwater lake fishing and those early sea-run opportunities. The warming water and post-spawning hunger will drive activity, making it a rewarding day for anglers who adapt their tactics to the spring conditions. Just be ready for potential variable weather, as it is spring in New Zealand after all. So, my friends, I wish you all tight lines and ni foster, ni cheshwi, no tail, no scales. Get out there, enjoy the incredible New Zealand scenery, and make some memories. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more tips, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to spring fishing tactics in New Zealand? What's your favorite species to target this time of year? I love hearing your stories. Until next time, happy fishing.